Let's go back to Discord and hear from a few more people, as we like to do on the Friday show. Let's go to Mr. Mosley from Dallas, Texas. Mr. Mosley, welcome to the program. What's on your mind today?
Hi, can you hear me, David?
Yes, I can.
Hey, I was just wondering, like, with the whole Israel and Gaza thing, like, how come when Hamas does kill civilians, it's considered terrorism, but when Israel does it, it's like moral, righteous. Like, what's the difference here?
Who says that?
I hear a lot of commentators, like on mainstream media, MSNBC, CNN, that don't like the way they talk about Israel. It's not the same way that they talk about Hamas when
Okay.
it killed more civilians than Hamas.
Well, listen, there's two different things. That your first assertion was that what they're saying is that when Israeli civilians die, it's terrorism, but when Gazan civilians die, it's moral. I asked you who said that, and now you're taking a different claim, which I think is maybe one we can engage with more, which is just that there's different treatment of Israel and Gaza. Is that more fair? Is that what you meant?
Correct, correct.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, listen, there's two different things here. One is there are some media outlets that have a bias one way or the other, and that can explain how they cover the Israeli Palestinian conflict. There's another aspect to this also, which is that there's a difference between civilians as collateral damage, which is still tragic, but different than a policy of finding and killing civilians. Now, I know just by saying that, lots of people will be furious with me and they'll say, David, Israel does have a policy of deliberately targeting civilians. We're not going to be able to have that fight right here, but at least theoretically, Mr. Mosley, does it make some sense to you that there's a difference between a military carrying out operations and accidentally killing civilians? We could say not enough concern, disregard, but different than Hamas, for example, saying, let's find civilians to kill of no military or strategic value whatsoever. At least theoretically, do you agree that there is a difference between the two things?
Yes, but I have seen videos online where there's like drone footage of like they're just aiming at people that are just like walking or
Yeah.
with their kids. They have white flags. Like they even killed some Israeli hostages just because like they're just indiscriminately just like killing
So there's
people.
four different things you mentioned there, four, and it's impossible to, because you mentioned four completely different things, and it's really difficult in the scope of this show without analyzing each individually to think them through. I am aware that over the
Mhm.
last 10 days, there was a video floating around purporting to show drone strikes on random Palestinian civilians. And that
Mhm.
was the initial narrative. I read up a
Yes.
little bit about it. One of the things that seems to be very clear is that this is so crazy to think about it this way, but the idea that Israel would take the time and incur the cost to randomly target four civilians just walking down the road doesn't comport with anything we know about how the Israeli military operates. You can say a lot of things about the Israeli military, including that they don't have enough concern for civilian casualties, that they carry out operations in locations where any reasonable person will expect that civilians are going to be killed. You can, and I share a lot of those criticisms. I
Mhm.
struggle to think that they are going to, quite frankly, waste ordnance on four random civilians walking down a road. And also some of the claims made about that video, like that the video was recovered. I think someone said it was recovered from fallen drones. Apparently, the unencrypted videos like that aren't even stored in the drones. So I guess my point here is with each, you mentioned four things just like in passing. Every single one of those, if we really want to understand it and study it, we probably need a couple hours to dissect each one. So I would just say, Mr. Mosley, do what you can to really get to primary sources on a bunch of this stuff.
I got you. And if I can just ask one last question,
Sure.
do you know why the our government is so like committed and loyal to Israel? Like what exactly are we getting out of this partnership that we have with them? Because it just seems like it's causing more trouble than what it's worth.
You're
It
saying,
seems
what
like.
does the U.S. government see as the reason to be involved with Israel?
Correct, correct.
Oof. There are so many different answers depending on when you want the question answered and who you ask. But
Hmm.
everything from a desire for stability in the region that is advantageous both militarily and economically is one aspect of it. The historical ties dating all the way back to World War II and how supportive Israel is linked to other allies. I mean, here's the thing. It depends who you ask. You will get a
Hmm.
completely different answer. There are those who say it's a partnership made out of the military industrial complex exclusively. Sort of hard to believe, but maybe that's a part of it. Every one of these questions is awesome that you're asking, and they all require a ton of research to be able to answer in a satisfactory way.
I get it, and I know I'm out of time, and I appreciate you answering my questions, David.
Mr. Mosley from Dallas, thanks so much. Glad you're thinking about this stuff, and I appreciate the call. It is time to start thinking like voters and to make sure that kids understand the importance of voting, how it works, registering, ballot initiatives, because so many kids just have no idea. That's why I wrote the new children's book, Think Like a Voter. I can think of no better time and no more important group of folks to try to reach. The book is now available at davidpakman.com/book, where, by the way, you can get the first two books in the series as well. Think Like a Detective and Think Like a Scientist. Really important stuff. Donate them to local libraries, classrooms, read them with the kids. davidpakman.com/book.